how long did it take for me to reach £100,000 invested? This is my actual journey. So at the age of 27, I was a PhD student and I had £30,000 in life savings that I put into investments. And by the age of late 29, I had £100,000 invested. Now, do I think this is repeatable for most people in the UK? Absolutely not. I was lucky in many regards. First of all, most of my life I lived at home. I didn't have to pay rent, and therefore, of course, I didn't have to worry too much about money, and I put in as much as I can into my savings. That's why I had that much. Now, I think it's incredibly important to recognize our privileges, even though sometimes we feel like we don't have enough. You know, as a PhD student, I was really lucky to have a supervisor who would find me money doing random jobs and stuff like that. So it was really good. And about 90% of whatever I earned, I put into the stock market, about £1,000 or £2,000 per month. Again, I was living at home for most of that, not all of it, but for most of that. And therefore, you know, it was really easy for me to deposit. However, the third thing that I did was I was really lucky because the stock market was going up at the time, and you know, it made gains really easy. But the thing I did that gave most of my gains was a bit risky. I did trade a lot of ETFs, something I don't recommend to do, but that is how I got to 100k in about 2.5 years, or whatever the math behind that is. So currently I have around £150,000 invested across multiple brokers, and that would not have been possible without my specific circumstances. So just be careful online about people showing their portfolio. There's always a reason as to why it is so high for their age. Now, if you would like a free fractional share worth up to £100 on Trading212, all you have to do is to go into the promo code section of the Trading212 app and just enter my code JUBAIR.